Why does she come close and then disappear? Why does she text you when she's sad, but vanish when she's happy? You sit there staring at your phone like, what did I do wrong? But here's the truth most men miss. She's not confused. She's not shy. She knows exactly what she's doing. And if you don't get clear, you'll get played. Every single time. Let's slow this down. Have you ever felt like you're her emotional band-aid? When she's hurting, she calls you. When she's bored, she wants to talk. When she's tired of the world, she leans on you. But the moment she feels better, poof, she's gone. No message, no thank you, just silence. And you're left wondering, was I ever important? Listen closely now. She doesn't hate you. She doesn't love you either. She just uses you for emotional attention. Because you're available, you're reliable, you're safe. You're like a cozy blanket she only touches when she's cold. And that hurts. But this is where the Stoic man rises. A Stoic doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. And he definitely doesn't cry over crumbs. He watches. He sees the pattern. And he says, enough. You must stop being her in case of emergency button. You must stop handing your heart out to someone who only shows up on rainy days. You're not her umbrella. You're the storm she should fear losing. Here's what changes everything. Live like she's not the center of your story. Because guess what? She shouldn't be. Get focused. Get calm. Get real about your path. And when she comes back again saying, hey, I've just been thinking about you, you'll smile and say, I've been thinking about myself. And that is the moment she feels the sting. Not because you were mean, not because you played a game, but because you finally chose you, your peace, your power, your purpose. The power of silence. Why doing less makes her think more. What if saying nothing made her think everything? What if your silence made more noise in her heart than 1,000 texts ever could? Crazy, right? But here's what no one tells you. When you stop trying to fix it, when you stop sending that, hey, are you okay? That's when her mind goes into overdrive. Not because you're being rude, not because you're punishing her, but because you finally took your power back with silence. Think about this. When you talk first, text first, explain first, you give away all your mystery. You hand over your emotions like a free sample. And most people don't value what's free. But the man who stays still, the man who stays quiet, the man who lets her feel the space she created, he becomes unforgettable. She'll try to distract herself. She'll scroll. She'll post selfies. She'll pretend she doesn't care. But inside her head, the silence you left behind is loud. She starts asking herself, why isn't he chasing me? Did I go too far? Is he talking to someone else? And now, you flip the script. You're not the one wondering anymore. She is. That's stoic power. You don't use silence to punish. You use it to protect. You use it to focus on yourself again, because every minute you waste explaining yourself to someone who already made a choice to pull away is a minute you lose becoming the man you're meant to be. The world tells men, talk more. But real strength often sounds like nothing, just calm, just clarity, just peace. Here's the twist that will shock her. While she's wondering what you're thinking, you're not thinking about her at all. You're in the gym. You're building. You're reading. You're creating a life she doesn't get to pop in and out of anymore. And by the time she figures it out, it might be too late. Stop looking for closure. Build a door and walk through it. What if the closure you're waiting for was never coming? What if she already gave you her answer and you just didn't want to hear it? Sounds harsh, huh? But here's the truth most guys ignore. You don't need a big emotional goodbye. You don't need a long message with crying emojis. You don't need her to say, I'm sorry for hurting you. You don't need closure. You need clarity. You need standards. You need to know when to shut the door before she slams it in your face. See? When you chase closure, you're saying, please, tell me what I did wrong. Please, help me feel better about you leaving. But here's the hard truth. If someone really cared, they would have never left you confused. They wouldn't make you guess. They wouldn't leave you hanging. People who care make it clear. People who don't disappear. So stop begging for words. Start watching actions. Because here's something wild. The more you try to get answers from her, the more she watches you lose your edge, your mystery, your calm. And guess what? She respects you less. But when you choose peace over answers, when you decide, I don't need her to explain a thing, that's when you rise. That's when the power shifts. And that's when she starts chasing something she never expected to lose. Your presence. Closure isn't something she gives you. It's something you choose to give yourself. With silence. With self-respect. With purpose. You don't wait around for a moment that might never come. You become the moment that makes her regret ever walking away. Why being hard to reach makes you hard to forget? What if the reason she doesn't chase you is because you're too easy to find? Every time her mood changes, every time she's bored, every time she wants a little boost, she knows exactly where to go. Right to your phone, right to your attention, right to you. You've become predictable, always available, always ready to reply. But here's a secret most men never learn. If she doesn't have to work for your time, she won't value your time. Let me say this loud. You don't create desire by always showing up. You create desire by having something better to show up for. See, when your world is full, when you're chasing goals, building skills, living with purpose, you're naturally less available. Not because you're playing games, but because you're busy becoming a man she can't forget. And that scarcity, that limited access to you, that's what makes her curious. That's what makes her wonder, where is he today? Why didn't he reply right away? Who's capturing his attention if it's not me? That little mystery, it gets in her head. It burns in her thoughts. Remember this, people value what they can't always have. That's why gold is rare. That's why diamonds are locked up. And that's why your time should be protected. Because when you become too easy, she treats you like background noise. But when you become a challenge, she tunes in with full attention. So stop checking your phone every 10 minutes. Stop being the guy who always texts first. Let her feel your absence. Let her miss your presence. Because once she realizes you're no longer waiting, that's when she starts chasing. When she pushes your buttons, stay ice cold. What if I told you the moment she tries to get a reaction from you is the moment you're being tested the most? Yeah. That moment when she rolls her eyes, or takes forever to reply, or says something that stings a little. You think it's random? No, it's on purpose. She wants to see, can you handle pressure? Are you the man who stays calm when things get stormy? Listen, any guy can smile when things are easy. But only the rarest men stay calm when things get messy. That calm, that's power. That's A-U-R-A. That's what makes her think he's different. Because when she sees that her little games don't shake you, when she throws fire and you stay cool, you send a message without saying a word. You don't control me. And that makes her feel something deep. Not just attraction, respect. Here's the truth no one tells you. Girls don't always want nice. They want stable. They want a man who doesn't fold under feelings. Because if she can shake your emotions, she knows you're not ready to lead. But if you breathe deep, if you pause, if you answer slowly, if you don't respond to drama, she starts looking at you differently. Like, wait, what kind of man is this? Why doesn't he freak out like the others? Why does he feel so solid? That emotional control, it's your silent weapon. It makes her think twice before testing you again. Because now, she knows she's not dealing with a boy. She's dealing with a man. Up next, in the next stage, you'll learn the secret behind real confidence. Not the fake look at me stuff, but the quiet, powerful energy that draws people in without you even trying. Real confidence isn't loud. It's unshakable. You ever seen a lion quietly watching from the shade? Not roaring, not chasing, just still. And yet, everyone feels his power. That's what real confidence looks like. See, most guys get this wrong. They think confidence means being loud, showing off, bragging about their car, money, muscles, followers. But guess what? That kind of confidence screams insecurity. It's like saying, "Please notice me. I'm trying so hard." And women, they see right through that act. But a stoic man, he doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to impress her with words or shiny things, because he knows something powerful. His worth isn't loud. It's quiet, and it speaks without sound. When he walks into a room, he doesn't take over the space. He just owns it, with his posture, his calm eyes, his relaxed energy. And it makes people turn and look, not because he asked for attention, but because he didn't. Women feel this deeply. They might not be able to explain it, but they'll say things like, "There's just something about him. He feels safe, strong, centered." Why? Because you're not chasing their approval. You've already approved of yourself. And that's rare. That's attractive. That's what makes you unforgettable. So stop trying to be seen. Start becoming the man who can't be ignored. Not because you yell, but because you glow with quiet power. She only misses what she can't always have. Have you ever wanted something more? Just because you couldn't have it right away? Like a toy behind the glass? Or that last slice of cake someone else reached for first? Now here's the wild truth. She feels the same about you when you're not always there. Most guys think the more they text, the more they call, the more they show up, the more she'll like them. But guess what? That's not how desire works. The more she sees you, the more she hears from you, the more she expects you. And when something becomes expected, it's no longer exciting. It's no longer special. Think about it. Sunshine feels amazing after days of rain, right? But if it's sunny every single day, you stop noticing it. It just becomes normal. That's why being less available, being busy with your purpose, taking time for your own life is powerful. It makes her wonder, where is he? What's he doing? Why do I kind of miss him? And boom. Now you're the one on her mind. It's not about playing games. It's about living real life, your life. Because when you're fully present in your own world, you become a rare experience in hers. And what's rare is remembered, is wanted, is missed. So to live. The power of saying nothing at all. What if I told you that silence can be louder than words? That not replying can say more than 100 texts ever could? Sounds crazy, right? But for a stoic man, silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning. You see, when a woman pushes your buttons, when she gives you mixed signals, or plays the hot and cold game, most guys panic. They chase. They ask, "Are you okay?" They beg for answers. But not you, because you've learned something powerful. Silence is not weakness. It's strength. When you go quiet, not out of anger, not out of fear, but out of calm confidence, she feels it. It's like You walk out of a noisy room and shut the door gently. Now she's left sitting in the noise, wondering why you're so peaceful. She starts thinking, wait, why isn't he reacting? Why does his silence feel so strong? This isn't about ignoring her to play mind games. It's about protecting your peace. It's about choosing not to argue, not to prove, not to explain yourself when it's not needed. Because when you're clear on your worth, you don't need to fill every space with words. Silence makes her listen harder. It creates space. And space builds mystery. And mystery, that's where attraction grows. Always raise your standards or stay lost in confusion. Have you ever felt like she's in control, even when she's not giving much? Like you're the one doing everything, but still wondering where you stand. That's not love, my friend. That's emotional confusion. And the cure is raising your standards. Let's get something straight. You're not supposed to chase someone who's unsure about you. You're not supposed to wait around for her to make up her mind. Because when your standards are low, you accept crumbs. And when you accept crumbs, she stops seeing your value. A man with standards doesn't ask, does she like me? He asks, does she meet what I want in a woman? See the shift? He isn't waiting to be chosen. He's doing the choosing. You're not being cold, you're being clear. If she only comes around when she's bored, lonely, or between guys, you don't need to ask her to stop. You just stop accepting it. Your silence, your absence, your discipline to walk away from low effort. That's what wakes her up. That's what turns maybe into, oh no, I lost him. But this doesn't happen by accident. It takes courage. It takes boundaries. It takes a man who knows what he wants and what he'll never settle for again. The moment you say, I will not accept less than I give, everything changes. She feels it. She sees it. And if she's not ready for it, she'll run. But that's good, because now you're finally free. She doesn't regret losing you until you stop needing her. Want to know when she finally regrets losing you? Not when you beg. Not when you cry. Not when you try to show her how much she meant. But when you go quiet. When your soul goes silent. When you no longer need her. That's when the game flips. She doesn't feel your power when you're always around. She feels it when you disappear with peace in your chest. You're not ghosting. You're not punishing. You're just not trying anymore. And that, right there, that shakes her. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You were never supposed to prove your worth to a woman. Your worth was never a question. It was your neediness that blinded you from seeing it. And once you drop the need, your aura rises. Suddenly, you walk different, talk different, live different. You're no longer hoping she sees your value. You've become the value. She'll remember the way you made her feel. But more than that, she'll remember the moment you stopped chasing. She'll remember the moment you looked around, saw your own strength, and walked away. not in anger, but in peace. This is the final level of Stoic discipline. You stop playing tug-of-war for attention. You drop the rope and build a world so rich, so full, that anyone who left you behind wonders why they did. And that, my brother, is the moment she regrets losing you. Not because you tried to get her back, but because you found yourself and you never looked back.